Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome to my review / overview of Friday the 13th, the series. So today we are talking about, oh no, Crystal Lake Memories film. Okay. I can't really see it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my review of the Friday the 13th series. As you can see, we are on number 2. So, number 2 starts off where the first one left off. You may remember that I was not a huge fan of part 1. So number 2 gives you highlights from part 1, which is great because if I'm not a fan of part 1, I can get the highlights by watching part 2. So yeah, 2. Adrienne King. Some behind the scenes bits, shall we say. This is a well-known bit, but sharing it for people who don't know. Adrienne King decided not to come back because she was dealing with a stalker at the time. So the original story involved Adrienne King's character from part 1 a bit more once she had the stalker and didn't want to do the movie anymore. They killed her character off. I know that's a spoiler, but you're watching the review. So, spoilers. For a movie that was made in like 82. So yeah, so it takes... I'm moving this forward. There we go. Okay. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to my reviews of the Friday the 13th series. Today we're looking at Friday the 13th, Part 2. How does it kick off? Well, it kicks off with the ending of Part 1. That's right, I'm not a fan of Part 1, so throw in Part 2, you get the highlights from Part 1, and you don't have to sit through that boring piece of movie. So, how does Part 2 begin? After that, well, it begins with a prank. Actually, I take that back. It begins with a kill. It begins with a kill of Adrienne King's character from Part 1. The reason they killed Adrienne King's character is in real life she had a stalker. She did not want to continue on with the franchise, so the decision was made to kill her character and give another final girl to another woman, and that is, oh, I believe her name is Amy Steele, and she plays Jenny. So, after the death, we go on to the truck. A truck prank by, I think, Teddy. Now, what I like about this movie compared to the first one is I kind of like these characters. I like Jenny because she's not your normal woman in these type of films. She's not helpless. She's not really a jokester either. She's a jerk to Paul. I wanted to say Chad because as you know, I play Friday the 13th, the video game, with quite a few people, and I think Chad is Paul. I think. Also, Packanack, favorite map on that. Getting back to the story, she plays pranks on Paul, and she is a badass. She fights Jason at the end. What I didn't remember going into this is that they, for a while, set up that you don't know who the killer is. They set up that it could be Crazy Ralph. They set up that it could be Paul. Stuff I didn't remember. To be fair, though, this is the movie I've seen the least. Well, one of them. There's only one I've seen once, and that was it. So, this one I've seen maybe twice, third time today. I really enjoyed Friday the 13th Part 2. So, after the truck prank, Jenny shows up at a camp, and this time, instead of it being at a camp, it is a camp counselor training session. So instead of these people trying to play a lot younger, they're playing counselors in training, which I like a lot more, as opposed to the first one where you were supposed to believe that they were a lot younger than what they were. So, yeah, and then there's murders that happen. Crazy Ralph gets garroted, I believe, and there's a couple that gets a spear through. Good stuff. I like this one. This one I thoroughly enjoyed. I remember watching it, one of the first times I watched it, I was bored by all the bar scenes. But now it seems to go a lot quicker. Maybe that's because I can actually see what's going on. This is another one where they remastered the print in 4K. I shouldn't say print. They did what? Okay, the Blu-ray is a 4K scan from the original negative. It looks a lot better. At the bar scene, things were lit correctly. When they were in the parking lot, it wasn't just super dark, so you couldn't see a thing. Now, this also has slashed scenes. As soon as I got my box set, unwrapped it, put in the slashed scenes. And the best way I can describe it is it's very similar to if you have the if you have the Hellraiser Scarlet box. I can't remember if I think it's Hellraiser 2. The back of the VHS box, there was a scene that took place at a hospital that showed Pinhead in scrubs and the Lady Cenobite in scrubs as well. Presented with no sound. Or very little sound on that one, I believe. This is presented the same way. There is no sound throughout. It's just a little bit more gore. If you like that type of stuff, I think it's kind of neat they found it, because they found it on the special effects guy, the makeup artist, special effects makeup artist guy's VHS collection. And the story to get to that is pretty wild. They froze it at one point. On the VHS tape, in order to get to work, they froze it at one point, and then at a different point they had to bake it, and it finally worked. You got all the footage. Unfortunately, it can't be put in the film, which I think sucks, but all the slashed scenes, slashed gore, I should say, is in here. So, or as a special feature. So that's really cool. I'm going to be honest, I didn't get a chance to watch Crystal Lake Memories. I'm going back and thinking now that was probably a bad idea to say I would do that, because that would be a lot longer to get this out, and I'm wanting to get these out as quickly and concisely as possible, because we have 12 movies here. Then I have to hop back to Nightmare on Elm Street, and then I have to hop back to Al Adamson. These are big sets. So the stories of Crystal Lake Memories, or on the documentaries that are on here, I will share if I remember them. So, yeah. So what is my thought on Friday the 13th Part 2? Friday the 13th Part 2, I highly recommend. I recommend skipping Part 1, going straight to 2, and as of right now, the movies are 1, 2 picks up right after 1 ends, and we will see what happens in Part 3. I know, because Part 3 is one of my favorites, but I will make that decision when I rewatch it again. But if I remember correctly, these may make up the trilogy, because they're boom, 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 one right after another, right after another. Part 4, I think, departs from that, but we will see when we get there. So Friday the 13th, Part 2, I highly recommend getting the Scream Factory box set. If not, I'm sure Friday the 13th Part 2 is streaming somewhere. Check it out. Thank you for watching this review. Next week, Friday the 13th, Part 3 in 3D. Remember, stay spooky, stay scary, take care. We will see you next time for Friday the 13th, Part 3 in 3D.